Good afternoon. How's everyone doing? So, the question for today is, are they extending our new norm? I've seen some notifications that the school will be out until May. There have been previous rumors that they would be out for the rest of the school year. And so, with all this going on, we're talking about self care. We're talking about the loss of our freedom, the right to go in and out of the house. And many may have been impacted with the loss or temporary layoff of the job. You may also know someone who was physically impacted and was hospitalized, or maybe even have lost their lives. Like, this is a sad time all over the world. And this impacts everybody. Like, no one is exempt from what is going on. And so my prayer for everyone, because we've all been impacted by some way. And so today, I just want to talk about, with all that's going on, it's easy to start feeling like you're overwhelmed, you're stressed out. There's a lot of things to do, and maybe you don't know what to do. And so I'm going to talk about some things that we can do to kind of get clarity. Continue to drink your water. I have my water here; doesn't have lemon in it today. I've already did my walk. Having some form of exercise, actually even just going outside to get some fresh air, even if you're going to the backyard or the balcony, or just a nice little walk, right? Keep your distance, but it's helpful. If you're watching this, if you can hit the hearts and also share. So if you're feeling like you're overwhelmed, if you're feeling like you're stressed, if it's starting to be a bit much for you and you don't know what to do, some of the things that you can do is, we call it brain dumping. And so brain dumping is, I'm gonna give you a couple of ways to do it. So the first thing that you can do is, you could take a sheet of paper. So you could just take a plain piece of paper or paper with lines on it, and it's just what I said, is brain dumping. So all you're really doing is, you're just taking everything that's inside your head and you're just putting it on paper, right? A lot of times, just to get it out of our head, it helps a lot, right? I'm gonna give you some other tips and techniques, and then I'm gonna give you one that you can do even if you don't have paper around. I'm taking in mind that some people may be restricted to, leaving the house. And I also don't want you spending extra money with all this going on. I kind of want to reduce that. But if you have these in your house, please feel free to use them. So I have little posters, and I have them in all different colors. So one of the things you could do is, you could also just begin to write, like, clean the garage, declutter the kitchen cabinets, right? You can do different things. Like, this could be for the house, this could be for the car or other projects. You can even do one for work if you have projects that you need to do. Um, I just have there's other projects I work on. And so what you would do is, you would just simply write what it is that you have to do. And the benefit of using post-its is, you can take the post-its and you can actually put them on a sheet of paper, so that they would actually be on the paper like this. I'm having a little, like this, right? So that you can kind of move it around. You can also use a wall or a bigger piece of paper. What I like about Post-it is, once it comes time to organize and to find out what you can delegate, find out if it's a low, medium, or high prioritize, you can actually begin to stick them in different places so that you're not overwhelmed. If you use the sheet of paper that I showed you earlier, what you could do is, you could come back and just put a D for delegate. You could also put like one for low, two for medium, three for high, or whatever system you want to use. That way, you know how to prioritize. Another thing you could do is, I have a lot of projects I work on, so it's important that I'm organized. You can use the index card. So with the index cards, I like this as well. So you can write on here what you need to do. And what I like about the index cards and the post-its is that you can move them around. With the paper, it gets kind of overwhelming. You're crossing out stuff, and it's kind of like you're limited to it. But with the actual postcards, you can kind of like write what you need to do. You can even come back and later put more details on that. And so if you have this, once you have it, you could still do the same thing with, you can have a stack for delegation. You can have a stack for low, medium, high. You can move them around, prioritize them. And here's step two of what you can do. So once you have it kind of like already separated, what you could do is, you can put on there like how long you assume it's going to take. So let's just say that we're going to do the closet. And for the closet, let's just say it's going to take us an hour. So you could put 1 hour. So what this allows you to do is you can then take this information, you could put it on your calendar, either in your phone or on your calendar on the computer. So once you put it on the computer, you can actually schedule 1 hour. You can actually say that to clean up the closet. You can put a reminder on it so that you are reminded to do it. You can also use these little index dividers. And with this, I don't have my box in front of me, but it's like a little a box that you can put in there so that you could put like number one, number two, number three, or you could put March, April, May, however you want to do it. You can put them in order and then later put it on your calendar or simply write work from the box. And then once you complete it, you can just put void on it. So I'm giving you these little tips because I know for me, whenever I feel like I'm overwhelmed, whenever I feel like I'm stressed or I have a lot to do and I don't know what to start, I just feel like I become like almost like depressed, right? Overwhelmed. Anxiety starts to build up and it's not a comfortable place to be at, especially with all this going on. I notice that whenever I'm organized, whenever I'm on top of it and I'm structured, that my day goes a lot easier. I don't forget important things like, to pay the bills, or if I go to the grocery store, like what do I need from the grocery store, which is also important, especially with all this going on. The grocery store has been like, they haven't had everything. We may have overspent because we didn't know what we need. So even taking one of these cards and then just leaving it like in every room, right? So in the bathroom, if you're low on toothpaste, if you're low on mouthwash, if you need additional hand soap or you need bathing soap, to have it in there. In the kitchen, to have like what items, like maybe eggs or milk or bread. In the laundry area, you may say detergent, bleach, right? Um, in the linen closet, you may say that you need other, things around the house. And so what this allows you to do is take these cards. And so when you go into the store, you're buying exactly what you need, and you're not overspending. And so continue to do the hearts, continue to share. Again, this is just to kind of make sure that you take care of yourself. As I stated before, drinking water is important to kind of get the energy moving, to get the toxins out of your body. The more you move around at home, the better, because it causes you to, whenever you're sitting and you're idle, it's not good for you physically. But to get up and have movement is always good. And so when I talked about earlier, if you're drinking water and you don't get up a lot, the smaller the glasses, the more you have to get up to actually refill it, which is a good way to do it. Have things that you do throughout the house so that you're going up and down the stairs or in and out the room so that there's physical activity. You're not just sitting at a computer. You're not just sitting watching TV, and you're not sleeping a lot. If you're sleeping a lot, it could be that your body's tired. It could also be that you're starting to kind of feel sad or depressed because you're not able to get out as much. So again, being able to get out and get some fresh air, even if you don't want to do the walk, working in the garden is also a way to get some fresh air. Take your vitamins. I take like the one a day woman multivitamins. I also take B complex. I take vitamin B complex. And again, whatever you take with your vitamins, check with your doctor. I take vitamins because I rather do something natural than to be on medication and they have side effects. But if you have medication, take the medication. But before you start mixing it and doing other things, consult with your doctor. For me, the vitamin B complex is good for making sure that I'm kind of like, if I'm producing more cortisone, that I'm balancing it out with the vitamin B complex, which is different than the B12. The B12, a lot of people take for energy, but the B complex is actually better for like cortisones, your energy, and your mood. Okay. Um, People take vitamin D, so, when they're not getting a lot of fresh air. Again, consult with your doctor. The things that I can say that work for me is making sure I drink plenty of water, making sure I cut back on my sugar, making sure I'm taking my vitamins, making sure I'm walking daily or doing some type of exercise. Being organized also helps. Also, even though we are not able to go out, make sure that you still stay connected with family and friends. Make sure that you're not isolating yourself altogether, where you're not in communication, where you're not reaching out, where you're not checking on other people. Um, we talked about yesterday, making sure that you're in a place of just being grateful. Um, and even though, like the word grateful, to just be like, I know that there's a lot going on, but whenever you're grateful, like the energy and the place and the state of mind that you're in, it just feels better when you're not complaining, when you're not around people that are complaining. And I'm not saying that you don't have a reason to complain. I'm just saying that the happier you are, the more grateful you are, the better you feel. And it seems like you begin to attract people with that same type of energy. So even taking a sheet of paper and just writing out what you're grateful for, calling family and friends and saying, I'm calling to check on you, and also to tell you that I'm grateful for who you are in my life, for what you've done, to appreciate the husband, the wife, the employee, um, just people that we don't really slow down to just really appreciate what they do. And here's the perfect opportunity, because with all this going on, maybe we haven't appreciated, the EVS or the janitor in our building. Maybe we haven't appreciated our spouse as much because we're so busy and things that we take for granted. And now seeing how much work there is to do around the house, or how they have to interact with the kids, or maybe we didn't realize like what goes into teaching and educating a child and dealing with their good days and bad days, and when they don't get enough sleep. Now realizing what a teacher has to do, realizing that with the post office, they're still in contact with mail, they're still touching mailboxes and touching other things, and so they're at risk. They're delivering packages. People in the grocery store, realizing that they're stocking the shelves, they're not with their families, they're working extra hours, they're dealing with the attitude of different people. And so slowing down to kind of like realize what other people are doing that we may not have really valued, and now we see the importance of it. um, be grateful. Like, I can't stress it enough. Continue to take care of yourself. Continue to be fully present. um, and if you feel like it's like, slow down, right? And just begin to get organized and begin to get structure. And you don't have to do everything at one time, but even if you just, today I'm going to do the bathrooms, tomorrow I'm going to dust, next day I'm going to do laundry, then I'm going to go grocery shopping. Just do little bitty things, because as you begin to make dents in it, you'll feel better. Again, to kind of summarize what I talked about, is really about getting out of your head, putting things on paper, putting in your calendar so that you can have it time set aside to actually do it. Make sure that you're staying hydrated. Make sure that you're taking your vitamins. Make sure that you're being grateful and that you are in a good place. And regardless of what someone else is going through and how they feel, don't take on that energy. What's going to be interesting is when this is over, when people begin to return to work, when people begin to go back to what they consider their norm, realizing how many people in our lives may have not been healthy. And when I say not healthy, I don't mean like they're not physically healthy. I mean like mentally and emotionally, like paying attention to what people are saying, how they feel, who's always complaining. Um, you're going to be more sensitive to it because you haven't heard it, you haven't been around it for a moment, and now all of a sudden it's back in your space. Other things that you can do to take care of yourself is kind of monitor what you watch on TV. Like watching the news could be depressing. Watching certain type of movies could make you feel tired and drained. Watch something that's funny or educational. We have, if you feel like, I'm not in a place where I can focus and read a book, listen to Audible. Like, take this time to give yourself what you normally don't give yourself. And then in this, even though I'm saying this is our new norm, some of these things you may want to roll over and make a habit even after all of this is over. One of the things I realized when I went through my thing with depression and anxiety is that a lot of my friendships, relationships were not healthy. I realized I hadn't set boundaries. I began to pay more attention to my body, what it needed. I began to not ignore it and not push it as hard. And in doing so, now my new norm is that I make sure I take care of me before I take care of anyone else. Um, to me, that's important. I value my time walking and exercising for mental reason. And people who are successful, they exercise. And so I was able in that time of my life to begin to adapt some things that were healthy for me that I continue to do. So in this time, um, and I'm calling it our new norm because we don't know how long this is going to last. But some of these things, allow them to roll over into your life, like being able to read to your kid at night or having dinner as a family, um, FaceTiming people because you can't see them, sending emails, writing letters. Uh, and again, this is really about taking care of yourself, understanding that there's a lot going on. A lot of people have, you know, have been impacted on different levels. And so our body is responding. We're grieving the loss of what we considered normal. We're trying to make sense out of this. People are dealing with fear and anxiety. And so it's going to be important that you take care of yourself so that you can make sound decisions. And so that is my tip for today. There's a couple of things in there. Um, and again, and one of the things I didn't say, I gave you guys the option to use the paper, the Post-its, and the index card. If you don't have any paper at home, right, or you need the paper for the children to do their homework, also do like an Excel spreadsheet and just type it up, either in Word or Excel. If you do it in Excel, it allows you to sort. And the whole thing is to get it out of your head onto paper so that you can get it on your calendar so that you can begin to move forward. So thank you. Have a wonderful day, and you'll be hearing from me within the next 24 to 48 hours. Bye bye.